Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming back. We are in Canada again, of course, and things are getting moving along to a totalitarian state at a blistering rate. The current Prime Minister's name is Justin Trudeau, who is obviously a dictator. Two journalists today that I watched, senior men in journalism, were discussing the fact that in Canada, Justin Trudeau has barred and banned all oil imports from Russia. But as I pointed out, the province of Quebec, which is actually not a part of Canada, imports more than 225,000 barrels of oil energy per day from Russia. And it is because they will not extend the oil pipeline that comes from Alberta in Canada to Quebec City. They won't do it. The province of Quebec is dumping raw sewage into the Gulf of St. Lawrence, the St. Lawrence Seaway, the St. Lawrence River. Lots and lots every day. But they're saying the impact of an oil pipeline would be way too severe. But they dump raw sewage. Raw. Wow. Fantastic province, isn't it? Anyway, so Justin Trudeau has lied to us about that. And Justin Trudeau also did something else. He produced a sheet of paper that claims, he says it's from Canada, and it's misinformation about the Jews who own Moderna and Pfizer and the Jews. There's a long list of all these companies that are owned by Jews. He says this is racist, xenophobic, and Israelophobic. Turned out he got it in the city of Miami. That's where it was. He picked it up, or someone in his entourage picked it up, brought it back to Canada, and now he claims that it is from Canada and being distributed in Canada. Its home, its birthplace is Canada, and that's a goddamn lie. It's Florida. By an extremist group, by the way, as you can probably guess what they're all about. Anyway, so now we're getting even more details. Today is April 1st, and we're getting more and more details about combustion engines, human internal combustion engines, and in the year 2030 you won't be able to buy one. And we are all being encouraged to buy electric vehicles, which are, say, 10 times the cost on average, and a used electric vehicle, which they might last 10 years. A Tesla will, maybe. Needs a battery, and the batteries are $25,000. So this is very quickly not making very much sense. In fact, it's not making any sense at all. But not only that, since Canada's prairies are farming communities, and I've driven across it many times, the machinery is not run by electricity. And if you did try to turn a combine or a tilling machine, a tractor that's pulling a bunch of plows, I'm not sure how big the battery pack is going to have to be to make that work. And Justin Trudeau says these things will not be available. And Canada, in 2035, will be carbon zero. We will not be emitting any carbon. Now, Justin Trudeau has been planting trees. Now, here is some late-breaking news from Justin Trudeau and David Suzuki and all those other great scientists. All green things need carbon dioxide to grow. And if you're not producing any, we're going to have a brown planet. It won't be green. It's going to be brown. So even say Canada did and leads the way, as Justin Trudeau, being the dictator, wants us to lead for the world. He's listening to Greta Thunberg. He can't get enough of Greta Thunberg, a high school dropout that's convinced the entire world that she knows way more than anybody. She can lead the way. A little child shall lead them. Really? Well, she doesn't. She's in university now, and she did not complete high school. She's a very wealthy woman. How did she make her money? She made her money on global warming. She yelled at everybody in the United Nations and the European Parliament. She screamed at them, "You've stolen my future, you've stolen the future, you've stolen the future." She has made so many young people of her age so depressed, some have committed suicide. And when she was confronted with this, She said in her own home with her mother coaching her that those kids needed drugs. And she even named, I think, 3 different types of drugs to control their depression. A high school dropout. Can you believe that one? That's really good, isn't it? And our dear leader in Canada, Justin Trudeau, very woke. Everything's about women. But when he was a school teacher at a private school, he got fired. Why did he get fired? The allegation is that he raped one of his students. This young girl's parents were livid. They wanted him charged for rape. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police wouldn't do it. Why not? Justin Trudeau also groped a woman journalist once. And she tried to bring a case against him. And he got on camera and he's basically, if I understand it correctly, he said, well, I'm French. And French men don't see it the same way as you English one. I'm ad-libbing here a bit, but, I think that's the general flavor of it. And he said if she didn't feel comfortable about that, well, it's just a difference of opinion. Did he apologize? No. And what about the woman he punched out on the Parliament floors in the House of Commons? On camera, you can watch it. Actually, it's been taken down. The CBC won't show it anymore. But boy, did he ever nail her one. And all the men stood up to defend her. The RCMP had a look at the file, and they said, well, it's unclear, really. It's unclear, and I got to go. Right now, I got a code 720Z65, and that's very important. I can't talk to you anymore. Goodbye. And out the door went the RCMP officer. So that's how our law goes in Canada. In fact, I've been in court many times in Canada, and every time I've been there, the judge has helped the lawyer for the other side. And I called it out once. I called it out, Federal Court of Canada. The judge did not deny it. He stood up, he went white in the face, he walked out. He charged me huge court costs. And the lawyer, it was a lawyer for Canada Post, his name is Scott Dawson, works for a very prestigious law firm. And they called me and they said, you haven't paid your court costs. The judge said I had to pay it on that day in full. And I didn't. So when I get home, my phone's ringing. Where's the money? I don't have that much money. The judge ordered you to pay it, and you walked out of the courtroom, which means you are now in contempt of court. You ignored a court order. You are in contempt of court. I can have you imprisoned right now. This is Scott Dawson speaking to me. And I recorded the call. I said, well, thanks very much. I said, do you realize that I'm recording your call? He said, well, then I'm not talking to you anymore. I said, okay, you don't have to talk to me anymore. He said, turn the recorder off. I said, all right, I'll turn the recorder off. So I did. And he became very abusive. He's a lawyer, a member of the bar. Okay? Canada Post is opening my mail. To this day, they still open my mail. I've asked for it. I'm through the Privacy Commissioner. I'm taking their direction that it's Section 41 of the Privacy Act of Canada. I have the right to know. Not according to the judge in the federal court. I have no rights whatsoever. I have to get going. But I want to just point out, the judiciary has all been appointed by the Prime Minister. The RCMP all want to be in the Senate. They're not willing to follow the law. And I've shown you this before. In 2016, there were 45,000 active cases with lawyers, retainer fees, the whole thing. The Crown said they're not going to hear them. They're valid cases. They have good points. They're valid. They're same as mine. I have 4. Not hearing them. Ordered to do that by who? Parliament. 4 senior judges complained in Western Canada. But Parliament doesn't like Western Canada. Parliament likes Quebec and some of Ontario. And that's all. The rest of us can go fuddle-duddle ourselves. I'm going now. Thanks for listening. I know I'm ranting, but this is really going somewhere awful. Thanks again. Bye-bye.